found something I messed up. The incoming enemies all show up on the same region, so you only have to roll the dice once. Personally, I'm not, I don't think it's that big a deal that I fucked that up, but there may be some balance issues. Let's see, this is in 2, this is in 5, 6. Where's the other one? 1. So a single die means that you're not going to be putting all the capitals under pressure at once. If you roll for all the regions, it's a little different. So we get a single die of 4, and the way that's going to happen now is just a little different. There goes a farm. It may also affect, not that, but I don't think that means anything. But the farms are on different locations too. So this grew, that's not good. That means Egypt's going to go down. The reason Egypt's going to go down, there's a 3-point thing there. No. At this point, everybody moves just 1 space, I believe. 1 space. And this is all done simultaneously, so we take this first. These go down. Now, is there an effect of that? And that is something I don't remember. Like, does that destroy the happiness? There's no combat here. This may list all the things that happiness has moved on. No, it isn't. Maybe there's some place on here that tells me. These are victory points. Alright, I'm going to look to see if that's going to affect the happiness, but then these troops are also going to move in. We'll look at other regions as well. I'm just going to keep these off board for now. 4 is going to move towards 3. It's still got to go through Asia Minor. Over here, 4 will move into 5. And over here, 4 would like to move into 3, but this is bigger. Well, we're the same size, so it can't actually move in there. So this is the only effect in terms of the battle, but again, I don't know if killing those legions does something. Because effects are buried in strange places in the rules. Again, it's a fairly short rule set. So for example, here, if the enemy enters the capital, they will not move out until they're killed. But if a player kills the enemy in the capital, they get a victory point. We didn't have that, but it's a reason to maybe expose the capital. I'm not finding anything that affects happiness there. Of course, it's going to be taking grain down, and it puts the empire as a whole at a risk. And people probably don't really care how happy you are. Okay. Or an invasion across the world doesn't really affect happiness. Now it's harvest grain time. Ooh. When does... Yeah, this is when we roll for... It'd be kind of nice if we had a different step for deploy the famine. I hate 4-sided dice. This one came up before again. They don't really roll, so... Okay. That's kind of fortuitous because we're already not getting this grain. That means we're getting 12, 15 grain, right? Isn't that what we should have gotten last time? I may have screwed something up, giving them an extra 3, because I think I counted an extra 3 in there. I'm not going to worry about it again. Mistakes happen. What are you going to do? So there's our grain counters, and now we get our set of cards. We have the same emperor, and the grain's due to go up. Now there are cards that can change that, so let's see. Grain shortage, remove 3 grain from the storage. That's not so good. And again, we use these kind of like an abacus. Your rivals are doing well. All players except the emperor get 2 bonus dice. Let's go to the top there. He gets a plot card, which he could play immediately. That's kind of interesting. And he also gets $4. It's good not to be the emperor sometimes. And the other player also gets a plot card. Take a look at the top card on 2 of the decks. Place the cards you looked at the bottom of their decks if you want. Draw a plot card. Maybe, but I don't know what that helps me with at this point. And I only get $3. About a 20. What does this mean? Okay, so this little number here, the no 1, that means you wouldn't play with this in a solitaire game. Air auction. Each player makes a bid, starting with the emperor and continuing clockwise order. The player that makes the highest bid pays that much money and gets the heir. Well, this sucks for him. The emperor. How much money can he make? It says a bid. So my feeling there is we don't just keep going around. Well, it does say and continuing. Interesting. So the other auctions in the game are up, or the other auction situation in the game, I don't remember what the hell it is, appears to be, I think it's under death of the emperor, if I'm becomes the previous emperor starts the bid and each player continues to bid clockwise, the player with the highest bid. That seems to say you get to keep bidding. This says makes a bid, but then it says and continuing in clockwise order, the player that makes the highest bid pays that many. There are different ways of interpreting that, obviously. I think I'm just going to allow the bid to keep going. I prefer that kind of situation because things achieve the highest value that players think they're worth. Now, the weird thing about it is the other form of bidding, which the one-round bidding, could force something to go for higher than its market value. And that's kind of a neat situation. So like if one player, is willing to pay a large amount of money, but they don't know what the other players are willing to pay, they may make a bid just about at their limit and nobody else might have bid it. That's a similar condition to, say, secret bidding or something like that, except with a disadvantage for the first player. I don't know if we really want that disadvantage. So what are we looking at here? Well, as of what it stands right now, we're a little worried about the grain prices. We have a decent amount of money. We probably want to spend some of that money. We probably want to use our armies. We are not sure how much cash we have available, basically. This is kind of the problem in the whole situation. And how did I get this? I got this from Happiness. Okay. So, I mean, I'll bid $1. I have a card that gives me the heir, and I'll be able to play that, just as I die or something like that. But the other players have, I want to make sure that they bid as well, so I don't want to drop out of the bidding. It doesn't say anything about single round of bidding. There's no special rules for auctions. You're going to have to make this shit up as you go, or else maybe look online and see if somebody's made some kind of definitive ruling on this kind of thing. I feel like when rules are written this loosely, they're kind of up to make it up as you like. Now, is money something that's terribly available to the emperor? I don't really feel like it is. It feels to me like the emperor is not a great way to become rich. But it's a good way to get some victory points, maybe. In which case, we have to think. Well, it's clearly worth a couple of bucks. Over here, clearly worth $3. And this is the problem, with going around and around. At some point or another, I don't want to follow this with the camera the whole way. At some point, we're just going to come to a point where people say, you know what, it's not worth that. So I do have to kind of make a calculation as to how much it's worth to players. I would say, let's see, he'll go to 5 just as a, I think it's just worth that. And if I don't jump that, well, it's already at 3. All right, we'll go to 7, and see what other people start doing. So that's getting kind of questionable for him. He's going to... Stupid die. I can't think what that even means. He's going to go to 8. And I'm doing like 50-50 on him. His hidden agenda has to do with wiping out troops. So the Emperor's kind of worth a lot to him. So we're definitely going to 9. Does he want to keep going? He's beginning to feel like his cash flow is questionable, but he'll go to 10. He will drop out at this point. He will definitely go to 11. Is the Emperor going to keep pushing it at 12? I have a lot of money. At some point or another, though, I might want to say, screw it, man. Let the Emperor get this. It's not working for him. So I'm going to say anything but a 1 on him. 13. And the Emperor stops. So for 13 bucks, he gets to keep the air token that he had. That was an expensive turn to get what he has. Your rivals are doing well. Everybody except the Emperor may put one free Colosseum or free estate. Okay. And again, that's going to come from here. Now this one, good Lord, I don't know what that means. So we look for it. Unfortunately, they don't have the damn picture next to these. So now I have to look at each of these. Move the air track from anywhere to your player map or receive 2 victory points. Yeah, that's kind of neat. Sure. What is this one? Roll 4 dice and get a victory point. Sure. Well, we'll just keep tossing ours out. Him, I've got a lot of these out already. I too will place one of these. And then an earthquake. Roll a die to decide the target region. And then remove all buildings, add a famine, remove 1 unit from each province. Players with a pawn have problems. Okay, and will it come up a 4 again? Nope, it's a 3 this time. 3 is over here. There are no buildings. We get a famine. That's okay. You clear 1 famine per turn. Remove 1 unit from each province. And nobody's actually in there. The Roman army is beginning to disintegrate, however. And now another forum card. And this one, this only fills each person. Each of these spaces can only have 1 person's thing in it. You can be multiple times in it. So one's 2 cards, one's a pile of money, and one's just a victory point. 15 bucks looks pretty appealing, but then again, so do the 2 cards. I think the victory point is probably the weakest of them, but who knows? This is the exploration value of a game, and unfortunately for me, I kind of find that grumpy. Once you get past that exploration point, the game changes in flavor, right? Once you know what a victory point versus money is worth, the value of the game becomes different. And this is clearly a competitive game, rather, like most Euros, rather than something that's more designed to represent something. So you can't just kind of role play it out and say, well, I want wealth. Now, this guy might be able to say, you know what, I want the wealth because he cares about that more. But what about the P cards? I don't know. That was here. And on to the player actions. And I think we may want to swap batteries unless that is lying to me. So one question is, do I feel like somebody's in the lead that I'm willing to risk this card against them to keep hurting them continuously? I don't think that's the case, especially since people aren't dying. So I'm probably going to hold on to that card. Shit, there's my battery thing. Not charging. it slips a little in the socket and it just doesn't work. Okay. I think what I'm going to do, remember, oh shit, I've been doing 3 actions per player for everyone, haven't I? God. Maybe I ought to just fucking start over. Oh boy. Because I feel like the non-Emperor players have gotten a definite advantage in this game. It's not like it's that, it's not like it's a long game. I certainly have time to start it over. Let me play out a little bit more here, and then I think we'll restart the game. Okay, so just to get tonight out of the way. All right, so it's going to be really hard for me to remember, though, because I don't have a tracker for that. So let's do something to move a force. If I move this force, I could go 1, 2, and kill that and get some bonuses. Of course, then this is all at risk. I can't pick up, so it would take 2 move actions to do that. So we're gonna move these here. We're gonna kill this. That gets us a happiness buff, a die roll. We restore. Okay. We're gonna keep operating in the same way, I think. See, the problem with doing this, I could gather forces here, but I don't want to do that. So what if I buy legions? Because we're beginning to cut down on legions. I could buy 3 legions for $6. Best move? Jeez, I don't fucking know. And, if I was playing this opposed, I would never know. It's only through solo play that, I catch these things. So usually a game like this, I'll get a play, maybe 2 in a lifetime, right? in opposed play these days. If this had come out 30 years ago, 40 years ago, it would probably get played every year or so in opposed play. But there's just too many games now. And now I will take another action for the move, and we'll see what comes of that. Of course, I'm not building myself up, and I'm risking this, which sucks. However, I have 2 moves. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let's hold this for a moment. These guys got to move 2 spaces. That's all they get to go. Yeah. Okay. So we did the build. We put these guys back. These guys move in. They kill this for 3. Or for 2 of those. That increases happiness. I get 2 dice of bonus. And I have another move on that piece. 2 dice of bonus gets me a plot card. I got to be careful on that 3. I'm going to get another one at the end of the turn. And I get to move another space. Now, there's an advantage to spreading your legions out, like I've got. That prevents things from being taken. I've used 3 of my actions here. Of course, I could have used this. This I may want to do to drop the price of grain to make life easier, but I don't have to do that now. I can do it at the end of the year, which means I will end my turn and draw another plot card. Ooh. Okay. So that puts me to the next player. The next player only gets 2 actions, and this is where I fucked up, right? None of the Emperor's actions were copyable. What could we do here? We could build a building which would not be copyable, or which would be copyable, but wouldn't necessarily hurt us. I think that's a good idea. I'm going to spend $3, put a token, and add a building here. It's his turn. Yeah, he'll copy it too. Now I've got to be careful because I've got to keep track of the fact that he's played 1 action. And 1 or 2 is easier to remember than 3. He'll copy this and also spend $3 because he has the senator and place this here. By taking a senator action, you kind of screw yourself because everybody else can go after you. So unless they have the money, it doesn't seem like a great idea in general. And the emperor, you know what? I'm going to be able to drop the cost of grain. I hope this all works, but I don't want to think too hard. He too is going to start building. Oh, I got a problem here. This thing has 2 stuck together. I can pry them apart at some point, but okay. So that's his first action. What's his second action? He would like money. That's what he did there. Spending money on a senator. That hasn't been working very well for me. I could go fight. My fighting strength is 3. If it was 4, I could run through these. I could easily make it 4 with these things, or I could actually drop another chit in here and make myself better military. I'm forgetting these too. I could grab a pile of money. How are my plot cards? I can do an extra action without using a pip. I could swap. Make 2 items swap spaces. That could be important just before the build phase. I like the idea of that because I'm probably going to get downgraded there. If I take this as my second action, now I'm at +2. Now for my third action, I'm going to burn this plot card. And I get to move. It can't be copied. I will move this, my force. It's now at +2. So it's a 4. So I come here 1. That kills 3. That's worth a victory point because it's capital. Hey, I remembered it. Good luck with me doing that, by the way. Those kind of rolls, they're going to be hard for me to remember. They're little piddly things. Okay, I get $6 in a plot card. That's my payoff. New plot card. Place 1 or 2. I don't like doing that much. And then I keep moving, right? So I was here, I moved 1, 2, that's what I'm allowed to move. I kill 3 again. Now I need a 2 to remind me how far I've moved. These 3, a happiness, 3 more dice, 6 more bucks. And another plot card. Now I've got too many plot cards. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be a timing thing. Whoever plays it first, the other person gets the catch. You certainly want to hold on to that if you don't have something good. I don't know what to do with my 4 plot cards. I could grab some of that for free. This was my second action, I think. I'm damned if I can remember, but I've got something on here and I think I triggered that. Oh, speaking of which, all his triggered stuff should be down here in the used stamina. We could conceivably get it back. Jeez. I don't want 2 plot cards, I can assure you of that. Do I want to reduce my stamina this early in the game by 2 spaces? I don't have to make the decision now, but if I don't, I might not get it. Where am I? I have 2 more movement. What do I want to do with that 2 movement? Well, this is pretty protected. There's a lot of armies here, so I'm probably not going to get to move that. So I'm going to move to Africa. That seems like a fairly wise move. I've got one more, or I've got no more actions. because I'm playing correctly now. I'm going to burn this plot card. We don't know what the effect of it is. And I'll take a victory point and 15 bucks. That's another 20. That's a 40. And a victory point. Okay. And that gets me down to the 3 plot cards. Except it's the end of my turn, and I get another plot card. Move 1 to 4 from the unused to the used on your player mat. Roll as many dice as the number of them you move. Okay, so that's a way to get a lot of cash, and I may want to do that. May kill off my character, though. Okay. So now we're on the 3rd player, and my battery's almost dead. Don't know what he wants to do. Gotta think. I think I definitely want to kill these things. And where are my homes? They're all down here, so I'm kind of in the right place. So that would be one of my actions. My plot cards. I don't know. I think this is worth keeping for an assassination or something. Do I want to assassinate someone? Well, maybe. Seems like a bit of a pain. Okay. I mean, if I wanted to push the Emperor, especially now that that I have this, but I have to get. It would have to be 6. Maybe. Okay. Let's open things up by doing a move action. And a move action, I'm gonna do 1, and gotta get a die for 1, and another die for 1 here. I've killed 2 of these. I increased happiness. I get 2 dice of benefits. Okay, I get 1 of these back, and I get a plot card. Well, that's nice. I probably do want to play that. Although it'll be even better next year, but I may have too many plot cards by next year. I could fuck with the grain storage. I could keep this for +3, whichever. I've got more movement. I've got, 1 strength and 1 movement, so I can move, I don't know, 3 more spaces. I honestly think I just want to be here. That seems to be guarding my territories. And for my 2nd, what do we do for a 2nd? Bribing a senator doesn't make much sense. I have the top senator. I don't have to do something. However, I begin to think that was unwise, holding off. The point was keeping the emperorship, but it doesn't feel like it's worth that much. And certainly doing these things doesn't seem worth it. Okay. We're running up on cards. Let us try to assassinate the emperor. Because if we can wipe him out, we're in good shape. We're allowed to play hidden plot cards. I definitely want to keep this one. This one could be cool, but I'll play this one face down. The Emperor is like, I really don't want to die. Play that one to counter it. Need to keep this. This is iffy. Play this. What's the ordering on these? So here it's their plot card, but elsewhere it says you can play as many as you like. So the question is there an ordering to it? Again, I don't know. Can you bid these or not? I like the idea of bidding. The Emperor's put 2 down. I'm going to play this one. The Emperor wants to keep his position. This is important, that's important. He'll stand where he is. So he's got 7 points. He's got 6, so the die is going to be at -1. That means 3. If it had been a regular player, he'd be dead. But instead, those go. And we used a lot of plot cards. That was our second action. Except, fuck me, this is copyable. The Emperor did not want to move. Did green want to move? Not particularly. There was nothing to wipe out. Good enough. Place buildings. White gets the swap. He will swap his first choice out. Gets the play. Oh, yeah, I get my taxes. Yeah, I get my income this turn. Green will get this. That gives him 2 plot cards. Not exactly the best thing to have happen. Remove any number of money -1s. That's not useful. Well, we could have done this. We're green, yeah? We are going to play this immediately and swap these 2. Okay. Because they do get done in order. And that kind of gets rid of the use for this one because I take this, I'm going to grab the pip. And then I get one of these, which I can put in a lot of different places. I am going to put that down here in this capital. This could get me some cash. I don't have to play this quite yet. But it seems like a good time before he can build his food. So I'm going to steal $5 from the Emperor. Now I'm only 1 across. I only have 1 additional. I could turn some people into death. This should be here. These should all be over. Yeah, I could end up dying. And I don't think I can move more than I have, thus avoiding the penalty. So the buildings have been placed. This slides forward. We get to distribute food. Well, now the Emperor has 12 grain and it looks like 25 things to do. He's going to drop the price. And 12, that means I owe $13. I have fed everyone. Good Emperor. Okay. There's an advantage to doing that. If you feed all the happiness marker moves 1 space to the right. Not enough to get me anything, but okay. Now, I could have saved some money. Maybe I want to. What the hell? What if I don't do that? I could save myself $1 and drop the happiness here. It looks like I'm about ready to die. So let me have $1 back. And not feed all the promises. What the hell? No reason for me to do that. And now, what else do we get? We distributed food, collect taxes. I get a big $25. Now, what's weird here is whatever the Imperial faction is, whoever's collecting all that money, in any historical real version, if the emperor died, his family more or less was no longer wealthy and didn't have the wealth of the empire behind them. So, you know, if he dies and he becomes heir, he would probably have the cash there. That's not always entirely the case. There were cases where people more aligned with the imperial family might not be the heir, simply because of it's hard to say. I mean, what do you say with adoption? This kind of heir is a weird situation. Normally, the emperor selected an heir from within his own family and wouldn't be looking to someone outside. If they were looking to someone outside, they did not have someone who was closely aligned with them, so this money would disappear. If they had someone closely aligned, their heir would be from their own family. So there's a lot here that's just not working, you know, in terms of any real historical linkage. Now, people get their cash. It's $5 per little city thing. The emperor will get his 5. Now, this is where you have to kind of remember what the hell's going on, right? Because I have to remember that he can double his value. So he will take, you can't just look here to see how many you have. He has all 4 on the board, so that would be 20. He gets $40 because it's doubled. He's like, oh shit, I want the most money. He, on the other hand, only has 1, 2, 3 on the board, so he's only worth 15. The coins are beginning to get eaten up. And I think I did everyone. End of turn. Okay, it's plot card time. He has to get rid of a plot card. Unused to the used, getting dice for that. He's already got the H. That's useless. He could end up buying off negatives. This is the only thing he can do. So he's going to push 2. He can't move more than he has. Is this optimal? I don't know. And that gets him 2 dice. Now, these could come back. But instead he gets $6. I don't know, how bad am I doing, you know, in terms of, yeah, I screwed something up with the emperor in terms of initial plans, and then I screwed up by giving these guys additional turns. You know, I've really screwed this guy over. If the emperor player ends up winning anyway, we've got a definite issue. I may just play through, because I can't really make any statements about, you know, balance anyway when we're looking at something that I'm playing for the first time. So that went there. He's dead now. Death of a player. He's got no stamina. You die after the action of your final stamina. And all possible copying. When you die, you put a negative marker on your mat. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to remove a positive marker. There feels like there's way too many of these negatives, but if you follow the rules, that's what you got to do. But it doesn't make a difference. These aren't like die roll things or something like that. And all your stamina will go back into your unused, except for stuff on the forum cards, and he has a lot of stuff on forum cards. Which means he's going to be dying more often. He does not lose the air card. And now the price of grain goes up. And we go to turn 3. Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep playing through. It's not a fair playthrough. Like I said, I screwed enough up on that first turn that we're not getting a legitimate look at things. But you know what? If the Emperor ends up, and we forgot to give him 3 victory points. If the Emperor ends up doing pretty well, at least we can say from a naive playing, even with massive mistakes, the Emperor still seemed to have an advantage. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case. he's not been doing, he's not been working towards his hidden agenda. He's been working towards keeping the emperorship and been distracted from what's going on. We're good on plot cards. These guys are working towards their hidden agendas. The emperor has to work towards his. He has not succeeded in getting these victory points moved out at all. And he hasn't even gotten rid of his penalty. So he's got real problems in terms of he's been trying to hold the emperorship too hard, especially since he has a card that'll get him the next emperorship in his mind. Not going to be the case. Okay. And so the next turn the enemies show up on area 6, then they get to move one more area. Now these guys wander into Britannia, which feels a little weird to me, but okay. And here, shifting into Mesopotamia, opening the farmland back up, and then here into Egypt, closing that down and taking the capital, which is a victory point available for someone. And hey, I'm kind of in the patrolling area there. Probably the only guy who's close. The grain itself. Okay, so we're back. We didn't draw our famine. We gotta roll a die. I forgot to pull the famines off at the end of the game, at the end of the turn last time, so they went. It's going to be area 2 is in famine. And you can see the famines don't tend to collect, but that means I'm down 9 in grain, which means I have, what, 1, 2, 3 threes, only 9 grain. I think that's going to take all of my counters. A 5. And a big stack of 1s there. And again, a reminder, if you don't like the little shaped things, somebody mentioned they didn't. The game comes with the cubes. And there's no real reason for... Chits might be more effective in terms of being able to stack and everything. At least for the grain counters, I don't know. For the military units, I think the cubes or some kind of wooden piece is perfectly fine. So that's that. And now we get the pile of cards. And so far, we've gone 3 years without changing emperor. Now, it is possible you could get a year of 4 emperors. I'm beginning to see how that could happen, especially with assassinations and the like. One thing you can't do, which would be appropriate for year 4 emperors, is you can't directly launch an attack. These are the rebels. So it's almost like, I don't even know what to call it. It just does not... It doesn't comport with the year 4 emperors at all, where you had factions that were actually against each other to some extent. Not all declared at the beginning necessarily, but all with their own power base, and it wasn't really a case of handing off to an obvious heir or anything like that. So the situation this is representing, I don't think really matches anything historical or even particularly seems semi-historical. Okay, the heir dies. If no player is the H, you shuffle this card back in and draw a new one. Otherwise, we put the H back on the Emperor's map. He has the H. This is here. The Emperor can buy it for just 15 bucks. Yeah, just 15 bucks. I should keep that there. Praetorian Guards want more money. The Emperor loses discs equal to the current year unless he pays 6 bucks. Well, that's a lot of discs. I would be dead. It would mean I'd get the H. But 2 actions, 6 bucks. Yeah, it's probably worth it. Hard to tell. Hard to tell. Keeping an extra play seems worthwhile. The Senate leader is killed. Remove the rightmost senator. The player who has the rightmost senator gets a bonus. Okay, so this guy loses the Senate, and that means green gets a bonus die. 3 quick bucks. The Praetorian Guard wants more money. Oh, this time it's 9 bucks they'll give. This is getting ridiculous. But, wow, yes, it is very obvious that if you didn't have cash, you could see... I think 9 bucks for 2 of these is too much, so the Emperor is going to die. We have to look at the Emperor dies rolls to see the right sequence on this. Okay. Oh, actually, I don't have the heir. Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to buy it. Okay, we're going to let the Emperor die. Nobody's got the heir token. But I can change that. Now, the question is, who is going to change it first? Because 2 people have that card. And both of them are willing to play it for this. Him because he just wants to pull. He has so many placards anyway. So who gets the drop on the card? I'm going to do it odd even. This is not a good thing, but the Emperor plays it first, and he says, no, it's mine. Puts the heir card counter here. Now, at this point, the heir gets to go back here, and he inherits the empire. What's up with that family? I don't know. Maybe far distant relatives. Why do they have all the money the Emperor had? Probably unlikely, you know. All kinds of things, but I think this game is so divorced from any kind of reality that it's kind of meaningless. Okay. And nothing else happens there. And now the new Emperor draws the last card. Approaching enemies, roll the die to decide a province. Regions 2 and 3, we're going to get 2 units. We've had this happen before. Region 2. Sorry, region 3 there. And region 2. Okay. And now these regions advance. Well, this is 4 going into 5. I kill some Imperial troops. And here, 4 would go into 3, but it can't. 5 will join 4. And we've got quite a force gathering there. That gets us a forum card. Another opportunity to play in. Perform an assassination attempt on the Emperor now and get a +1 to the attack. Okay. Definitely something useful, you know, when you're not going to recover again. So, like, this guy may not be dying again, essentially. The Emperor is dead. I forgot to follow all the things on here. Be sure to put the heir token back. So what's not listed here, but it's in this one, if he continues as Emperor, is that he'd get all his stamina back. I don't know. If you have the heir token, the player who was the Emperor also had the heir token, continues as the Emperor after he is reset. Okay, it sounds to me like he's also the death of a player, so he will, well, he was assassinated. When you die, you put a negative victory point. I think even if you're assassinated, you get this. He wasn't assassinated, but he died through not the natural means, and that these all push up. Obviously, the stamina should go up. The question is, do you lose a victory point? And that was the wrong kind of loss. So let's take 2 of them away. I added a victory point to him for some reason or another. So that's the set of cards, and now we're to the players. We have a new Emperor over here. And that seems like something worth thinking about. Now I got to try to remember that you know, try to keep in mind that I need, that I have 3 actions available with him and the special ones and everything. Now, I could clear a famine. As I remember, there was a... I have tons of money. I don't want to spend money if I can help it. But gaining money is something I would like to do. Now, I can only build troops in a capital, but these are my 2 capitals and they're rather close. I think I need to move troops. Do I want the air? I don't want to spend the money on the air. And this allows me to move a legionnaire group up to 2 spaces. But I can't drop things off, and that's where the problem is. Oh, boy. Jeez, I don't know. I gotta think about this turn a little bit. But clearly the first thing I want to do is I want to burn my own movement. But other people can copy that, and that's the problem. But I'm not sure I'm terribly opposed to that. It's going to take me a lot of effort to kill all of these off, but killing this off seems worthwhile. So I'm going to take my own movement action. Now I'm at +2 strength, +2 movement. So this has normally 2 movement. It goes up to 4. 1, 2, 3. I destroy 2 of these. That's a happiness. I have 1 move left. A token which I can't get, and $2. Okay. And I get a victory point for rescuing an Imperial center. Now I'm in position, I can hit the other one. Yeah, I probably want to just march around and do things myself, not use legions for this. There's no limit to how many times I can do it. However, the other players get to do stuff. White has additional strength as well. So he will come up 1, 2. Make the Empire happier. He gets a card. The Emperor must draw an extra, or the Emperor must draw less. I don't know. I get one of these back though, which is kind of cool. And now I get to keep moving 3, 4. Only 3, right? No, 4. He actually had an extra move. Hold on. His strength is 4. Let me finish his extra move here. Because he started here 1, 2, 3, 4. That would have been only 1 token. He could go 1 more. He can go here, and he could play. He'll play a plot card so he can defeat it. And that gets him another happiness and 4 dice of fun. I've only used 1 action with him. I don't know how to remember that easily. So 6, $10. Tons of money. Okay. So white is done copying. Now black can copy as well. Black also has a bonus there. He too will copy that action. 1, 2, 3 into here. Getting himself, getting the Emperor happiness, and getting himself 2 dice as well. Just 5 quick bucks. hard part's going to be he's got to do those monuments, and he doesn't have a lot of time to do them in. Okay. So that was action 1 over there. Now I think some more. The call here is what he wants. He's going to build something with the next move. The monument's a little more expensive. It comes with 4 dice and a victory point, which is pretty damn cool, to tell you the truth. But because of my hidden agenda, I'm going to go, and the fact that I get to collect income twice with this, I'm going to place one of these instead. And that means everyone else gets to duplicate that. Well, he doesn't have any to play. He sure the hell wants to play one. Because he's not getting a lot of his out. Now, he really wants to get a monument in play too, but right now I don't really have that opportunity. Okay, so that was 2 actions over here. What's the 3rd action? Building troops in Egypt is an interesting idea. Building that monument is not, because the boat's full already. Don't see anything else I terribly want to do. I could try to assassinate someone. I mean, why? Yeah, let's build troops. And there are only 2. Now this uses up a whole action. Do they all have to show up in the same place? They can only be placed in the regional capitals. It looks like I could build more than 1 if I want it. I don't think I have a terrible interest in building more than 1. So I'm just going to build 1 legion here in Egypt. Another idea would be to spend 15 bucks on getting the heir. I don't think that's terribly valuable to me. Phew, I get my plot card. The Emperor must draw extra. Yeah, this came about again. That puts me on Whitey. Whitey is aiming to clear troops from everywhere. He's pretty happy with that. I've got my builds in play. I could buy a senator, but then everybody else buys a fucking senator. But if they don't, then I gain something. Could assassinate the emperor. Good chance of killing him, but who would become the emperor? He has the high thing. I think we want to buy a senator, to tell you the truth. That's going to cost us 4 bucks to do. Okay, so this is my first action for him. That'll indicate I played 1, if I can remember it. That brings the question, hey, does he want 1 for 5? It caps his. That's great. Yeah, money is not as big a deal as controlling the buildings. So we'll go in there too. And that's 5 bucks. And now the hardest of questions is, does the emperor want 1? The new emperor. And that new emperor says, geez, it would cost me 6 bucks, but I would get the top rank. If I don't get this, black may end up swapping out my piece. I think I need to buy it just to protect myself. I've gone already, so these are over here. Let's $6, I pick up a Senate position. And that's the problem with buying Senate, is you probably don't actually get anything. Okay, so that was 1. What's 2? Well, that makes getting the building less valuable. Oh, crap. I cheated. When I tried to execute someone, when I tried to assassinate a senator, I went for a player. Didn't I? Or did I just go for the emperor? Yeah, I could assassinate a senator. That's a different thing. It still costs $5, but that's to pick off one of these, not to do damage to a player. If there was only one covering me, it would definitely be worthwhile. Don't know what else to do. I really don't know what else to do. What's this advantage? Perform an assassination on the emperor now and get bonus. Yeah, possibly, but geez, I don't know what to do. I could get some black cards. There's 2 cards worth of play. I mean, the next one of these is 3 cards. Beep, 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 I don't know. Let me think. I could buy another center. Money's not worth that much to me. It's a tiebreaker at the end of the game. Oh no, it's 1 for every 20 coins you have, so money is kind of important. I'm going to buy myself another senator, I think. An assassination doesn't help me. I only have 1 more action, and then it'll clear black, and black will be able to build things and swap something out. So that's definitely not something I want to do. I can't just claim the heir. I don't have the capability. So yeah, we will pay 7, which is, we're getting to a lot of money for control of the Senate. But remember, control of the Senate means possibly becoming the next emperor. Okay. Other players, however, I should have waited, also can play. And he also will cap that. We're at 8. I gotta pry those apart. Which means I'll get 2 back. And then the final one is him, and he's kind of not liking, there's a limit to how many you can get here. He's kind of not liking the way things are devolving there. It's getting too rich for his blood. He doesn't want to lose his piece though, and he's really worried black will jump in and swap itself into play. Whew. Yeah, I don't feel like I have an option. I feel like I have to cover that, and that's $9. Okay, that moves it over here. He's not the quick block card. He could grab some money or hurt the grain storage. Okay. This emperor said, or this I don't know, family says, gosh, I don't know what to do either. And I'm going to have to think. This guy's main goal right now is to start getting his monuments out. He has none. He must get one out. He has no real easy prospect there, except I have no cards. By trying to assassinate Green's senator. I only needed 2 on the die roll to succeed. However, this guy says, yeah, I don't want you to succeed. So that's going to subtract 3, which means I need a 5 on the die roll to succeed. I don't have any block cards, so I'm screwed. And I forgot to spend my $5. Not gotten. Well, no reason to assassinate again. Which means I don't know what to do with this next action. I could queue this up for $5 and it'll be at the top of the line next time. That's probably the best I can do. I think it's me. 15, and maybe I'll get lucky with a plot that helps me. Target one player. Each year at the start of that phase, that player gets a problem. I'm better off probably holding this one for the points that it gives. So that I can try to get this in it next time. As long as he's the emperor, I go last. That gives me a little bit of flexibility towards what I'm doing. And that means we hit place buildings. Lead senator is green. He could swap things out. Well, I don't particularly care about anything, except I'd like to get my choice first. I don't know if it matters which one I swap. I get a green. Where do I want to put it? So far I've got my forces structured around here. I am going to drop this in there where there are troops defending it. That allows black to go. Black's in this general area. That's where he's able to defend himself. This might be possible. I'll put it in Macedonia where my own stuff is. White gets one of these. He immediately gets 3 plot cards, which this is kind of obnoxious. Let me see what the base ones are. I mean, you want to get your things out, I guess, and grab your advantages. But 3 plot cards, normally you're not getting stuck with something like that that you might not be able to use. So you could swap, he could place that, that's not going to help. He could swap places. Okay, he can play with the question marks here. I don't know how much value that is. I'm going to immediately play this one. No reason, but we've got things we can do here. Removing 3 grain. The price of grain isn't very good. Getting $5 is probably better than screwing with that. So I've got 2 that I can play before the end of the turn. I'm pretty happy with mine. And now he gets another one, and this becomes kind of problematic. Do I want to drop it here where there are troops? And there are likely to be troops, but that's not a very big force. And that could well fall. Or I'll put this in Pannonia instead. That's unlikely to get hit unless it's just landed on, because forces are going to generally be moving towards Constantinople. Sounds good. And the last one slides forward. Food problems. Nowhere's got a problem. I need to come up with 25 food. I only have 9. Seriously? Jesus. That means I have to come up with $16, more or less. Well, the happiness doesn't matter too much to me. Victory point for money, that seems worthwhile. As long as I can stay above 50, I think I can probably manage that next turn. I'll probably be in good shape. So, yeah, let us feed all but 1. That means 24. 9 off of 24 boop, says I owe $15. Ooh, that's a big chunk of change. And that means we only go down 1. But it also means I get 4 victory points. It should happen at the end. The problem is I'm worried I'll forget it at the end. Collect taxes. Well, here's the good side. I get 25 bucks. 15 and 25, 35, 40. 25 bucks and 5. Doesn't help me. But I am above the 50 now. At least there's that. And everybody collects their cash as well. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these at 5 bucks each. Gives me another 20, so we're doing okay on cash. White also gets 20. I could have stripped more grain. Did I cheat? I cheated. He owes more money. Because grain was 2 bucks each, so he owes another 15. Wow. I might not have done that, but I think it's still worth it. After I see my income, it feels like it's worth it. Did I give him his 20 bucks? Shit, I don't know. I think so. I don't know. And he has only 15 coming to him. Well, I hope I did. I don't remember him having all that much money, and now he looks like he's very, very wealthy. So I think I dropped a 20 on him. Now it's end of year, and I think these should be here. These certainly should be down here. Okay. See what else is end of year. One thing is that victory point thing. I just have to find the end of year page, wherever the hell it is. It's end of game. Okay, we got to worry about the plot cards and the famines and stuff. So he has to do some. I am going to place a free dude in the Senate. Haha. Can't be trumped, can only be assassinated. And now, do I want to swap something here? Maybe, kind of, maybe. Bunch of events. Minus happiness, not particularly. Yeah, not particularly. Not useful, is it? No, I can't have a house. This wouldn't be very useful now. I get 5 money off this. Hitting the grain seems more valuable. It seems more impactful. Okay. Let me take a look at these end of year things when they're supposed to happen. The advanced game stuff. Honestly, I hate when advanced rules are far separated from the rest of the rules because I have to dig through a bunch of stuff that they don't belong in, but what do you do? When do these take place? At the beginning of phase 8. So this should have happened already, which is 3 more events. I could have played it. Grain import price increases. Okay. Your rivals are doing well. All players except the Emperor put a free thingy on the track. Well, that is very cool for black. It's making it likely he might actually. Production sabotage. The first and last building on the track swap places. And then all players except the Emperor can place a building for free. Well, these two swap, no biggie. He doesn't have a building to place. He has one, and he's like, oh, yippee-ki-yay. Hey, wrong place. Okay. So I did not take the 4 victory points yet that he gets for the happiness. I really should just do it when the grain happens. And now I have to find the end of turn page again because it's just to make sure I lose a famine from each region. The famines have not been long lasting for whatever reason. And that puts us to the final turn of the game. And we'll be putting this one up. Cheers.